It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline. I heard from a reliable source that Buhari wants to jail Kanu before he leaves office. Deji. A well-known human rights activist, Adeyanju Deji, has decided to reveal what he heard yesterday about the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Kanu. According to a post he made earlier today on his verified Twitter, he made it known that he heard from a reliable source yesterday that President Muhammadu Buhari wants to jail the IPOB leader, Kanu, before he leaves office, and that he also wants to support an Igbo presidential candidate in APC. He ended his post by reminding Nigerians that the federal government recently amended Kanu's charges. This really a serious one indeed. Though Deji Adeyanju may be making a good point here, but we all should know that President Muhammadu Buhari has no right to jail Kanu because he is not a judge, and only a judge has the right to jail someone. However, it is true that President Muhammadu Buhari can, influence this process one way or the other.
By gunmen in the town where the gunmen were said to be numbering 9, on Tuesday stormed Marquis residents, shooting sporadically into the air to scare people away while they kidnapped the victim. This incident was said to have occurred at about 9:30 a.m. along Akuba Road in the Lafia local government area, Nasarawa State, while the victim had just returned from work, eyewitnesses said. Also, a Chinese man jailed for setting slow internet cables on fire. A man in China has been sentenced to 7 years in jail for setting internet equipment ablaze after becoming enraged over a slow connection. Authorities have said the man's surnamed Lan was at an internet cafe in southern Guangxi province last June when his frustration with the connection speed spilled over, and he responded by destroying a public box containing optical fiber network cables, a local court said in a statement on Monday. In between, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, has disclosed that the National Information Technology Development Agency has approved 499 information technology projects worth of 152 billion naira in 2021. The minister disclosed this at the closing of the 2021 Service-Wide Capacity Building Program on e-government in Abuja on Tuesday, where the NITDA serves as the clearinghouse of the IT project in Nigeria, as it has been mandated to clear all information technology projects in line with the policies and objectives of the federal government of Nigeria, and this is set to maximize transparency and also to ensure that there is accountability in carrying out the information technology by public institutions, which would actually show that the 499 information technology project corresponds with what is being done with the 152 billion awarded to it.
To our leaders, we are tired of the worsening state of insecurity in the country. Every now and then, lives are lost, people are being unjustly killed like animals, and we demand the return of peace in our society. We are saying enough is enough, no more bloodshed. Out of school children figure is witnessing a massive rise of orphans everywhere. We can't travel in peace. The economy is crumbling. People are burnt while traveling. The protesters marched from Audu Baku Secretariat to the Kanu, government house, where security operatives received the group of protesters, listened to them, and promised to take the matter further to the appropriate quarters. Meanwhile, following the recent spike in terror attacks in Sokoto and Katsina states, President Muhammadu Buhari has dispatched a high-level delegation made up of heads of national intelligence and security services to the two states. According to a statement by the President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, on Friday, Buhari expects the delegation to present an immediate situation report and recommendations on actions to follow to effectively deal with the worrying situation. And also, the defunct Social Democratic Party, SDP, Professor Yowuse Aga, has urged separatist agitators to go about the agitations in a civilized manner to avoid bloodshed. In an interview with Vincent Kalu, the Professor Agia, a former senator who has served twice as minister and twice as ambassador, said that the 3 zones that have produced presidents should wait for the other 3 zones to have president. After that, he noted that the president should be chosen purely through popular contest, devoid of zoning. Many Nigerians have tried to go back in history to situate Nigerians' problems in the amalgamation of 1914. They say that Nigerians' amalgamation into one country should never be taking place because of our differences. These groups insist that the amalgamation's expiration date is over and is now the time for the dissolution of the Federation. But I say these people are wrong. There is no manual for the formation of nations. Wars, accidents, imperialism, necessity, agreement, arbitrations, and consensus have all given birth to countries. Our nation was born from imperialism and it became a British colony after the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. But we shook off the shackles of colonialism and emerged as an independent nation. The whole world still understanding that Nigeria would be a great nation and would wipe away the tears of all black people of the world by building a great democracy and a republic where justice and honor, peace and progress will be showcased. The reasons for the failure to attain greatness are that we have poor leaders and poor followers who have not been able to make nation building their number one priority. Our leaders have continued to wallow in ethnic racism and corruption. Ironically, it was based on Pan-African unity and nationalism, and our founding fathers got independence. But soon after independence, we have systematically destroyed every fabric of nation building through corruption and ethnic racism. The last 6 years have been the very worst in throwing up Nigeria's fault lines. The parties have failed to give leadership and they lack ideological commitment, purpose, or clarity. The weak institutions of states have been unable to defend democracy, and the Nigerian people have yet not resolved on national greatness. When we decide, nobody can stop us, the professor says. The professor also noted that the Nigerian elite must come together and overcome their apathy and decide to make Nigeria great through comprehensive restructuring of the federation, saying that we need more efficient and leaner federal civil and public service, and that we need the state to be stronger and the federal government to divest itself of its overwhelming control at the center, saying that we must resolve to tackle tribalism with greater intensity that we have fought corruption, saying that the last thing we need to do in addressing our nation's calamity is to recruit into politics and public sphere people with sound character who see wrong as wrong and who are courageous to stand up to forces that seek to destroy Nigeria. Asking about insecurity, saying that we started with Boko Haram and now ISWAP, saying that the United Arab Emirates recently named some Nigerians sponsoring the insurgent group, saying that Nigerians were excited, thinking that those who have contributed to the plunging this country into the crisis that has got millions of dollars and the carnage that followed will be prosecuted. However, the presidency said charging them is not a priority, and the professor was asked about his view on this particular statement. A response saying that the view is that the government has been living in denial and that Nigeria is first starting from a civil war that religious extremists and ethnic bigotry are foisted over us. The government has invented semantics of deception, which is helping terrorists by packaging them as bandits and even worse, non-state actors. I was walking on eggshells to call the foreign Fulani terrorists arsonists, rapists and land grabbers through genocide as non-state actors.